What is up, my dudes? I'm Kaylee. I'm an occupational therapist, and I review makeup through the lens of accessibility. Today, we are taking the About Face highlighter palette and putting it through the accessibility test. So, About Face dropped a new highlighter in 2 shades, and I got the shade Pirouette, their like pastel-y version. The About Face website describes this as a highlighter palette that breaks the norm, stating that the 9 separate pearls create a dynamic variety of shades you can mix, match, and layer. It's supposed to be a light reflective formula with a buildable cream power hybrid that creates a luminous finish. It's vegan, cruelty-free, and it retails for $24. So let's start with the nitty-gritty of this packaging. When you first pick up this packaging, it's actually fairly light, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on your needs. If you have challenge with body awareness or proprioception, this might be a little tricky because it's not super weighted, so like feeling it and knowing where exactly it is in your hands might be a little tricky. But on the other side, if you have decreased strength, this is fairly easy to pick up and hold. The packaging is like a gunmetal finish, and to me, it feels really slippery. So if you start getting like sweaty hands or if you have challenge with grip, this might be really hard to open. It's got that plastic closure, and it does have fairly wide sides, which can be nice to let yourself get like a full finger on it for that grip. But because, again, of that gunmetal slippery finish, it might be a little tricky. I found the easiest way was putting your fingers on kind of the sides of the top of where that closure is and then just pulling. Quick tip if you struggle with packaging that's really slippery, if you use more surface area of your fingers, so you're using like the entire hand and the entire finger to pull this packaging open, it's going to be a little bit easier. Once inside, you are looking at 3D pearls, so they like stick up and they're in a 3x3 formation. I do like that you can interact with each pearl individually or swirl it all together, but I wonder about the ease of use with how small these are. Because these pearls are so small and there's no like border separating them, if you have tremors or limited dexterity, this might be tricky to really just target and isolate one pearl because they're all so closely packed together. There is a mirror on the inside, which is nice, but I do notice that the more I use the palette, the cloudier the mirror gets because some of the product is getting onto the mirror. Physically, overall, do I think this is the easiest thing to open? No. Do I think this is the hardest thing to open? No. And I do think there are some workarounds with, again, how you're positioning your hands to get this product open, and we'll go into an adaptation a little bit later. The 3D pearls are really fun, but they're small, so it just depends on your needs whether or not these are going to be easy for you to isolate and use, or if you're going to be better suited just mixing them all together. Either way, formula-wise, these have a beautiful finish. It is truly a sensory dream. I love that it's a cream to butter formula because once it goes on your face, you really can't feel it. It provides luminosity without getting like super sticky. I'm going to put on a little bit of the pinky shade just on the high points of my cheeks. And you see how that just adds a little bit of that luminosity without being super overwhelming. While it is 9 separate pearls, there are like 2 duplicates almost. The goldies look really similar together, and these 2 pinks also look really similar together. My guess is they did this because you are supposed to like swirl it all together like the little highlighter pearls just in isolation. So I'm guessing the amount helps create that overall finish they're going for. I have used these as cream shadows, and again, they're very comfortable, but there is no lasting power on your eyes. I have really, really oily lids, and if I don't prep them properly, this is like gone or creased within 20-30 minutes. But on the cheekbones where it's technically marketed to, this is really, really nice. I'm gonna sweep them all together. I don't have any highlight on this side, just cream blush. So I'm gonna pat that on to get that really beautiful luminosity. When I'm patting on highlight, I also like to go up into my brow bone and really pull it out, almost like a nice V. The more glitter, honestly, in my opinion, the better, especially when you can't feel that the glitter's on your face. So that is all of them mishmashed together. Then I'll just put it on my hand so you can see what it looks like without a extra base. This is, again, that Pirouette, more pastel-y. It truly just looks like almost like a champagne-y, white, light pink shade. Really, really beautiful. So again, this is like one color in isolation just patted on, and then this is when I used a brush and just swept them all together. I feel like this formula has a really big tolerance for error, which I really like, especially if you're someone who's new to makeup or you're trying to figure something out. Because it is so light and buildable, if you put on too much or too little, you can build it up. If you put on too much, it's like fairly mobile, so you can move it around before it sets, which is also really nice if you're someone who needs to do some energy conservation and maybe needs to like stop and take a break before you continue going on. This formula is going to let you do that without looking like you're putting on a ton of layers or getting really creepy and gross. I just put so much on. Let's grow on my nose. Now let's talk about how we're going to adapt this product so it's easier to use. One of my tried and true adaptations is taking tweezers and using that to help you open the packaging. I will say, because as my hands get more and more sweaty and my fingers get more and more slippery, it's a little bit tricky with the tweezers if you're like squishing down. So I would recommend just like putting it in your hand and moving it up that way so that you have the most grip and strength. And because this baby is so slippery, we're gonna put some texture stickers on it. These are technically like texture stickers that are meant for sensory fidgeting and whatnot, but I find that they fit and work really well on makeup products. I am going to just measure and cut them to where I would naturally put my fingers so that I can give myself a few more grip points. So for me, when I'm going to open this product, I typically do it right across the top there and then on the two sides. So that is where we are going to put these grip points. The peeling is probably like the hardest part. You're going to line it up and push it on right where you want it, making sure you really push it down so it gets stuck on there. Immediately, it's already easier for me to keep that grip on there. I am going to add them on the sides just because. These texture stickers also come in like a bunch of different colors and gradients, so you can really make the makeup products like your own. Now that I have grip points on both sides and one on the top, it's going to be so much easier for me to get this palette open, even when I have really sweaty hands. Final thoughts. Do I think this packaging is innovative? The external packaging? No. The little 3D pearls? Yeah, they're fun. Is it easy to use? And that's going to depend on you. The size of the pearls, this is much smaller than I expected when I first saw the packaging. Like it fits in the palm of my hand. And each pearl like is probably about the size of my fingernail. So the size and the glossy packaging is going to be a deciding factor in whether you're going to find this easy or hard to open and use. Is the formula good? Yes, especially for any of my sensory sensitive babes. This formula just gives you this beautiful luminosity without feeling too heavy or too gritty or glittery. And I like that you can apply it multiple ways through finger or fingers or a brush, and you can really like move it. It's quite malleable so that if you need to take more time or if you make a mistake, it's okay and it's going to be forgiven. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this product. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me for more occupational therapy based makeup reviews. Okay, love you. Bye.